Good morning. Bon dia a tots. Well, we are a tourism consulting company. Basically, we provide advisory services to tourism firms and to governments and to multilateral organizations, basically addressing issues such as tourism planning, tourism development, on how to address tourism in each of their respective countries. So we have basically worked since many years ago with institutions such as the World Bank and such as the Inter-American Development Bank as well. We also have worked directly for governments all over the world. And recently, in the last 3-4 years, we also won projects. We bid it, and we won projects. A project with the ADB, with the Asian Development Bank. What I'm going to tell you, well, we have just heard from Sarah an institutional perspective of the ADB. What I will provide you is a practical perspective, or how do we think that should be a winning strategy to win projects at the ADB. So basically, if you have worked with other institutions such as the World Bank or the Inter-American Development Bank, you should know that working with the ADB is a bit different. I mean, it's also a multilateral organization, but it's a bit different to work for them. So you should address issues in a very particular way in order to win projects with them. From our experience, it's the complexity increases, and the complexity to win projects with the ADB, it's a bit more difficult than winning projects with other institutions. So the first thing you should know is you should analyze your company internally. And there are 3 things that you should have if you want to bid to an ADB project. If you do not have any of these 3 issues, then you should first prepare and address these issues before you decide to bid for an ADB project. The first thing is you have to see if you can really offer services that the bank is requiring, that the ADB is requiring. So is any of your professional services relevant or key to the bank? If your answer is yes, of course, you can bid for the bank, but you should also have 2 other issues. The second is, have you got experience in Asia? Have you got previous experience working in Asia for that particular professional services that you have? If you don't have experience in Asia, then it will be difficult to win to bid and to win a project with the ADB. And third, have you got specialists in any Asian market? If the answers to any of these 3 questions is no, then you should first start working on these 3 elements. And once you can answer yes to all these 3 questions, then you can start bidding for an ADB project. The strategy that well, from our experience, also from the experience to talking to some of the project managers at the ADB, from the experience of talking to people that have previous work with the ADB, we have come out with a strategy to win projects at the ADB. Basically, the first thing that you should do is to prioritize or to decide on what is your flagship, let's say your flagship activity, your flagship industry. So you should choose one specific activity. You cannot try to address all these different activities that the bank is working with. So if you, for example, work with the infrastructure and in the transport services, you should pick either road infrastructures or airport infrastructures or maritime infrastructures. You cannot try to get projects from the ADB in every single activity in the infrastructures, but you should first prioritize one of them in order to and then just go for it and try to get a project for this industry with the ADB. So first, selecting one industry. Second, you should also choose 2 or 3 countries. Don't try to get as much as possible. Don't try to bid for any single country in Asia. You should choose your 2 or 3 countries where you have got experience, and your chances to win projects with the ADB will increase. So if it's Southeast Asia, let's say Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, that's okay. If it's Central Asia, that's also okay. But just choose one. Concentrate on one. Do not try to go to any of them. And third, as Sarah also mentioned, you should try to search, to identify projects that are relevant to your company. And once you have searched and you have identified these projects, then just call the bank, call the project manager, or visit the bank. I was a bit surprised when somebody a few years ago told me just what Tara told us today. So just go to the bank, talk to the project manager, just pick up the phone and just present yourself. Just and talk. They're quite open, and if they find that your company could be relevant to the project that they are working on, they will be very open and very willing to meet you. This is true. I mean, I've got that experience. I was in Asia and in Manila, and I got meetings with several project managers and also with several people from the staff, and they are very willing to help you and very willing to tell you what they are looking for, what is the value that you should be providing to them. Okay, so from our experience, for tourism and leisure, so what we did basically was to identify the service that we could provide to the bank. That's basically tourism. Tourism, as we work for the tourism industry, we could provide services in the tourism field. Secondly, we also had, as I mentioned, we had some experience in Asia, not with the bank. I'm talking about 2008. We had previous experience in Asia with the World Bank and with other institutions in Asia, not with the Asian Development Bank. But as I said, if you don't have previous experience in Asia, you will not get a project with the ADB. So you should first get experience in Asia with other projects, with any other public institution, or with the World Bank, but not with the Asian Development Bank. You will not get projects if you have no experience in Asia. And third, we also had specialists, which knew quite well some of the countries in Asia. So we had the basis. So we had this basis. So we were ready. We were ready to bid for the bank projects. So what we also did we wanted to prepare a winning proposal for the bank. So we also, since we wanted to have a very specific knowledge and experience of the country, we also get some help from a local company who had really quite good experience in that field as well, and in certain countries where the project was going on. So we also got support from that local company. We didn't really partner, but they were also part of our proposal. So that's also part of the winning strategy. So just partner or get some support, some consultants from a local company that has wide experience with working with the ADB and working in any Asian country. And third, you should always be there. So for the bank is very important that you're always there. So do not bid for a project and then forget about the bank. You should, when you choose a sector, an industry that you could provide value to the bank, and when you have also chosen 2 or 3 countries, you should always bid for the projects of your industry, of your key industry, which are going on in those 2 or 3 countries that you have picked. So you should always do that. If you just bid for one and then you forget about it and the bank does not see you until 2 or 3 years later, I'm sorry, but you will not get projects from ADB either. It is not easy to get, and you will probably, once you have experience in Asia, you will probably not win a project from the bank at your first opportunity. So you will probably get a project at the second or at the third time. But at the first, the bank wants to know you. So you should really make yourself public and well known with the bank project managers. But for sure, it's very difficult that you get a project at the first time that you're bidding with the bank. From our experience, we won at the second time. So we bid a project in 2006. So we lost that one, but we made our company public and well known in the bank by that time. And after that, when the bank had a new opportunity in the tourism industry, so we won it. So we won that. We knew the people, and we won that project. So you have to always to be there. There are also some, once you win a project with the bank, there are some issues that you should also be aware of. It's the management, from our experience, management of these projects is a bit more complex to working with other institutions, especially depending on what project you're working on. In our case, we had a project in which we had to finance some money, close to $600,000. We had to finance this money to the bank because there was an issue. We had to organize a series of events. So we had to finance that money, and then we were refunded from the bank. After some time, we were refunded that money. But it's a bit, the bureaucracy at the bank is probably the average is quite higher. Is higher rather than other institutions such as the World Bank or the Inter-American Development Bank. So that's one of the weak points probably of the World Bank, that they transmit this bureaucracy, they are transmitting that bureaucracy to you. So you should be very careful with this. So careful where in projects where there are expenses which are not only directly linked to the consultant. If you have to finance also events or any project where you have to put the money and you get refunded later by the bank, be careful with this kind of projects. So just you really need to analyze very well the contract and what the bank is asking you for. If you are a small company and you win such a kind of project, it might be very difficult for you to manage that project. So be careful with it. If we were a small company, we would probably have closed the company because we were refunded the money pretty late. So we had to finance the bank for 3 years. So that's what I mean. If we were a company with 5 or 10 people, we would probably have closed. But I guess the bank chose us as well because we are a quite medium big company. So I think they trusted us and they thought we had we were big enough in order to undertake such a project. Okay, so finally, what would be my final recommendations for you if you want to work with the bank from tomorrow? So the first thing that you should do is the key issues. Basically, just get experience in Asia. If you don't have experience in Asia, first get experience in Asia. As I said, you will not get a project from the ADB if you have no experience in Asia. So get it, since you will not get it from the ADB, just get it with other public institutions, get it with private companies, or get it from the World Bank or from any other institutions that have projects in Asia. To get a project in Asia without experience in Asia from the World Bank is not as difficult as it is for the ADB. So that's the first issue. Second issue, you should have specialists in Asia. The World Bank really requires that you have specialists in your company that know well the Asian countries and that know well what are the Asian requirements, what the countries need, how you can really support the development of that country. So you should have specialists in Asia. That's the second issue. Third issue, why not, if you don't have experience enough in Asia, or you want to have a partner that really provides you with the contacts, with the local contacts, with the ADB, or with a certain experience that you don't have, and that is providing value to your proposal. So partner with a company, with a local company based in Asia, or at least based in Asia, or better in the country where the project is going to be undertaken. That's the third issue. And the last issue, just talk to them. Just get to know your company, get to know yourself in the bank, because if the bank does not have a personal contact with you, if the bank does not know you, you will not get the contract either. So there's a very important issue with it is the personal relationship, at least through calls, or better if you can do it yourself. If you can have meetings yourself in Manila with any commercial missions, with Axio, for instance, or with any other institutions. So that would be, from my perspective, winning strategy to get contracts with the bank. As I said, not in the first bid. You will not, in the first bid, you will not get it. You will probably not win. But it is a winning strategy to win bids at the second or at the third bid that you do. Thank you very much.